If I were to ask how many of you want to grow in 2022 spiritually, how many of you would raise your hands? Is anybody going to say, nah, I'm good. Spiritual mediocrity is fine for me? No, of course we want to grow. The disciples wanted to grow. They even said to Jesus once, they said, Lord, increase our faith. There was something about following Christ and spending time with him and watching him in action that made them hunger for a deeper, richer life than they were living, and they wanted the Lord to show them how. And if you want in on this, the good news is that God wants you to experience this also. So many verses we could talk about. Ephesians 4:15, we are to grow up in what? Every way into him who is the head, into Christ. So how do we do it? And it's not just a theoretical question to ask. It is a critical question to ask. I've been a Christian for 45 years now, doing the math. And I've been a pastor for more than 30 of those years. And one of the questions that keeps me up at night is about this, is about spiritual growth. One of the things that keeps me up at night is just trying to figure out, why is there so much spiritual immaturity in the wider church? And I start with myself. Why is there so much immaturity in me, Lord? Why is this so hard? And all the stories I could tell you as a pastor for 30 years, faces that come to mind when I just think about this, of people that just flamed out, burned out, wiped out. And I could tell you stories from my own life that would prove the point as well. And every week goes by, and I something comes across the internet, or I hear news about the latest person who blew it. So last week, I read an article about a guy in Hollywood named Devon Franklin, who is a young, talented, up-and-coming Christian producer. And the guy's good, and he's influential. And Devon Franklin announced on Instagram a week or so ago that he and his Christian wife, Megan, that they were ending their marriage of 10 years. And they put it on Instagram, because that's what you do. And this just stunned me as I read his post. He said this, and this is a guy who preached while we were out in California. He would preach once a month somewhere in Hollywood, and people would go by the thousands, and he would preach. This is a guy, he and his wife, they announced on national media that they did not have sex until they were married. They wanted to honor God. He's got a great public testimony. And so I wept when I heard that this had happened. But then he wrote this. After much prayer and consideration, we've decided to go into our futures separately but forever connected. We celebrate almost a decade of marriage together and a love that is eternal. There's no one at fault. We believe this is the next best chapter in the evolution of our love. Celebrating almost a decade. We almost made it. What we failed. Yay us! Release the balloons. Devon, those words reflect tragic immaturity. Every sentence is delusional. I get it. I understand how hard marriage is. I really do. And there, but for the grace of God, go I. But Devon, and I know you won't see this, but if you could have just shut down your social media account and posted nothing to your thousands of followers, just shut it down, you would have done better than to broadcast this drivel to the thousands of people who look to you for leadership. You would have been better to walk away from your production company. You got the money to do that, to go away for a long time. And you and Megan could have just gone away and worked on your issues and worked on them until you worked them out. It was not Jesus who led you to this place. It was not Jesus that told you to say these words.